Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video I'm going to be showing you how to make another piece of pixel art. By request I'm going to be showing you how to make an 8-bit version of Bane. I'm going to be showing you how to make the luchador version rather than the Bane out of the Dark Knight Rises, as is my preference. So if you want to make him, here's what you're going to need. You're going to need sandstone, black wool, dark grey, light grey, white, and finally red wool, and they're the only colours that we're going to be needing. So once you've got those and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'm going to be making it right here. You're going to want to start out with a row of 9 black wool in a row on the floor. That's 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like so. What you then want to do after you've got your row of 9 black wool is stack another 9 on top of it. So just go all along the top and beef that line up a little bit to give you something which should look like that. What you then want to do is you're going to want to do a row of 8 on top of that second row of 9, and it wants to start 1 block inwards coming from the left. So just miss 1 block off of that end and do your row of 8, like so. What you then want to do, and this is slightly trickier, is you're going to want to do a row of 5 on top of your row of 8, except it's not dead center. So starting from the right hand side, you're just going to want to miss 1 block off, and you're just going to want to do a row of 5 coming over to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, missing 2 off the end there. What you then want to do, after you've got this shape right here, we can start actually doing the outline. Pause this if necessary, of course. You're going to want to, from your row of 5, starting from the second block inwards, you're going to want to place a block on top of that second block, so like so. What you then want to do is 2 upright diagonals from that block, so 1 and 2. What you then want to do on top of that second upright diagonal is you're going to want to place 5 black blocks directly on top of it, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're going to want to have a shape like that. What you're then going to want to do, and this bit's slightly tricky, is from your row of 5, excuse me, my throat's a little dry this morning. From your row of 5, you're going to want to extend out this block to the left and miss 1 block, the 2 there to the left. I'm sorry that I can't really give you instructions for that, but you guys can see which blocks I've extended to the left slightly. So you're going to want to do that. What you're also going to want to do is you're just going to want to do a diagonal from this little bottom section. You want to do an up left diagonal to give you this sort of shape from your little row of 5. Again, can't really explain it, but you guys can see quite clearly what I've just done there. So once you've made that shape, complications are over now. Pause this if necessary, of course. Once you've made that shape, you're going to want to, from this block here, do an up left diagonal, then go to the left by 2. 1, 2. Then you're going to want to do another up left diagonal, and then you're going to want to go up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to want to do an up right diagonal, go up by 1. Up right diagonal, right by 1. Then an up right diagonal, go right 1, and go up 1. And let me just show you what we've made there, because we're going to be backtracking a little bit. So you're going to want to have something which should look, show you in total, don't really need to show you the foot. So you're going to want to have something which should look a little bit like that. Not too complicated. Pause this if necessary. Once you've done that, we've just got a little bit more to do, and then we're going to do the other half of Bane. So from this little J shape that you have here, you're going to want to, from the bottom right hand block of it, you're going to want to do a bottom right diagonal. Then you're going to want to do 2 more. 1, 2. I should have said in total just do 3 bottom right diagonals from the bottom right of the J, but you know, live and learn. What you then want to do is extend out this third bottom right diagonal to the right by 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. What you then want to do is, from this right side here, or the left side I suppose, it doesn't really matter, you're just going to want to go down 1 underneath this end block. You're then going to want to do 2 bottom left diagonals, 1, 2. You're then going to want to do 2 up left diagonals, 1 and 2, to give you a shape that should look like that, a little, almost a diamond shape, an upside down triangle, I suppose. Anyway, that's what you want to have just made there. Pause this if necessary, of course. Let me show you what you want to have overall. That's what you want to have. Once you've done that, we're going to start making it from the other side. Just because it's going to be easier that way. So pause this if necessary, make sure that that is roughly what you have. And once you've done that, you're going to want to come back down to the foot. So you're going to want to come down to here. This row right here, you can see the block that I'm hovering over. Well, once you've made your way to this block, you're going to want to, from this block, do 2 upright diagonals. So 1 and 2. You're then going to want to do 2 bottom right diagonals. So 1 and 2. I cannot place blocks today. From the second bottom right diagonal, you're going to want to go to the right by 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like so. And what we're going to be doing now is pretty much just a mirrored version of what we've done. So what you then want to do underneath your row of 7 is you're going to want to do a row of 9 underneath it. And it wants to start here, and it just wants to obviously surpass that by 1 block, just as we did on the other side. And then once you've done the row of 9 underneath that, you're just going to want to do another underneath that row of 9 to give you exactly what you have on the other side there. As you can see, exactly the same. What you then want to do, pause this if necessary of course, is you're going to want to do that pesky row of 5. And if you remember, start from the left hand side, miss a block off, and then just go to the right by 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like so. What you then want to do, and as I said, it is just a mirrored version, so we're going to be making that weird shape and then the arm, and then it's going to connect together with that upside down triangle. What you then want to do, on top of your row of 5, starting from the right hand side here, on the second block coming inwards, you're just going to want to place a block on top. Then do 2 up left diagonals, so 1 and 2. What you then want to do on the second up left diagonal is you're going to want to go up by 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as you can see, that connects nicely to what we've just made, the upside down triangle. So what you're then going to want to do with that long row there, which should add up to a row of 6, is we're going to do that tricky stuff that we had to do on the other row as well. So you're going to want to extend out the second to top block, this one right here, and these 2 blocks right here. I don't know how to describe their positions. I suppose 2 and 3 starting from the bottom, or 4 and 5 starting from the top. Either way, you want to extend out those 3 blocks on that row of 6. What you then want to do is, as you did on the other side, you're just going to want to do that diagonal coming from the empty space between the 2 blocks that we have there. So you're going to want to have that sort of shape. Pause this if necessary, of course. What you then want to do is, again, just like on the other side, from this block right here, you're going to want to do an upright diagonal, like so. You're then going to want to go right of that diagonal by 2, 1, 2. You're then going to want to do an upright diagonal, place 4 on top, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're then going to want to do an up left diagonal, place 1 on top, up left diagonal, left by 2, 1, 2, and then finally you're going to want to do a bottom left diagonal. So everything connects together, as you might imagine. So you're going to want to have something which should look a little bit like that. Pause this if necessary, let me show you the whole thing just so that you can see how it all pieces together. There you go. Isn't that lovely? Not really. It'll look better once it's coloured in. So that's what you want to have for now. Pause that if necessary, of course. Make sure that that is what you have, because we've just got a little bit of the outline left to do. So you're going to want to, once you have reached this point, and as a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, it is getting a little dark. So I will be back with the head. Alright, so once you've reached this point right here, it's time to move on to the head. So you're going to want to come up to the top of our statue. You're going to want to come over to this left side right here, and where we have this little miniature J, you're going to want to, from the top part of it, do an up left diagonal, so 1. You're then going to want to do 2 on top of that diagonal, so 1, 2. You're then going to want to do an upright diagonal, place 1 on top, then you're going to want to do 2 upright diagonals, so 1 and 2. From the second upright diagonal, you're going to want to go to the right by 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're then going to want to do 3 bottom right diagonals. So 1, 2, and 3. From that third bottom right diagonal, you're just going to want to keep going down from that block until you reach the outline again on the other side, which will give you something that looks like this. Alright, so once you've done that, pause this if necessary, of course, you have successfully made the shape of Bane's head. However, we've just got a little bit more black to add for the detailing of Bane's mask. So, what you're going to want to do is come up to this top row of 6 that you have here, and you're going to want to, underneath this row of 6, you're going to want to extend out this block, miss a block, and this block. So, again, can't really explain where those are, but it should be fairly obvious to you where those are. What you're then going to want to do is you're going to want to do bottom right diagonals from both of those blocks that you just placed. So 1 and 1, like that. What you're then going to want to do is you're then going to want to do bottom diagonals from both of those blocks that you've placed. So 1 and 1. What you then want to do from those bottom right diagonals that you've done is you're just going to want to extend both of them down by 2. So 1, 2, and 1, 2 to give you something which should look like that, and that shouldn't be too complicated for you. So pause this if necessary, and once you've done that, you have successfully completed the outline. Look at that, not too difficult whatsoever. It looks kind of weird without the colour. We're going to need to get that colour in pronto. So pause this if you need to make sure that you've done all of the outline correctly, if you need to make sure that this looks like yours looks like this, however you want to see it. Once you've reached this point right here, all that's left to do is for us to do some colouring in. And I'm going to do some colouring in whilst I explain how it's going to work. So, I'm going to be adding all of one colour into Bane at a time. In this case, as you can see, I'm adding in the sandstone. I'm not going to try and explain where I'm putting the sandstone, what I'm doing with it, all of that. That won't end well. I've tried to do that before. I'll just end up making this tutorial about 50 minutes longer just by me tripping over my words, trying to explain stuff that doesn't need to be explained. Whereas I can quite simply do this. And as you can see, all of the sandstone that I've just added should be quite clearly visible to you. That is all of it that exists in Bane. It sits right next to the outline for the most part, and it should be quite simple for you guys to just look at my Bane and just apply it to yours. There should be no trouble with that whatsoever. So that is all of the sandstone that exists in Bane. Pause this if necessary. Once you've done that, we're going to be adding the next colour. So I'm making this next bit of colour, I'm adding a 2-for-1 deal, as the light grey and the red exists pretty much next to each other all around Bane, so I figure it will be easier for both me and you if I add both of the colours simultaneously. So I've just finished adding in all of the light grey, and in a second I'll have added in all of the red. There's just a bit left for his eyes. So it's actually quite far spread apart, so I'm going to show you this in 2 shots. So this first shot, this is all of the light grey and red that exists in Bane's head. So pause this if necessary. And this is all of the light grey and red that exists on Bane's lower body. There's really not much of it anywhere, but it is far spread apart, so I figure why not give you the 2 shots. And also, just in case, let me give you the wide shot as well. Just thought it'd be easier for you to see separately, so make sure you've done that. Once you've done that, it's time to add in the white. So the only white that exists in Bane exists on his face, and it's only there as Bane, or at least the Luchador. Well, both versions of Bane wear a mask actually, but on the Luchador version of Bane, he has an actual full face or full head mask, I suppose you'd describe it. So that is all of the white that exists on Bane. It's pretty much centered around the red and the light grey and the black that we already had, so it's very easy to add in. So Pause this if necessary, add in the white. Once you've done that, it gets extremely easy. So all we have to do now is add in dark grey. Dark grey is the last colour we needed to add in, and as a result, we don't have to be careful about adding it in. Just throw it everywhere that there is space, and as a matter of fact, you know what? That's actually a little wrong. There's a couple of holes in Bane that you're going to want to make sure that you don't fill with any colour whatsoever. I'll show you after I've filled all of this in, however. It's right next to his torso. There's like 4 holes in total, which you just don't want occupied by anything, as they're supposed to be like spaces between his arms and his body. So I'll be able to show you this, well, right now actually, because I've just finished colouring him in. That's difficult to say. So, well, as a matter of fact, I'll give you the zoom in. So those are the 4 points on Bane that you don't want to fill in. Quite easy for you to see. Makes sense as well, as you can imagine. That's just the space between his arms and his torso. So, I mean, it's not the end of the world if you threw some black or dark grey in there or whatever. I mean, you know, you could pass it off as something else. Maybe you could give Bane a cloak or something. I don't know. But they're supposed to be empty. And furthermore, let me show you the entire thing. So, this is what Bane should look like once you've finished. Looks pretty good if you ask me. Quite minimalist. That's what I like about these 8-bit pixel art. So there's not that much going on, but I like them. I like them. I don't think this even took too long to make. I think this took under 15 minutes, which is surprising, but anyway, this is Bane. He is 100% completely finished at this point. I think he will fit in well with my 8-bit Batman and 8-bit Joker. I've got tutorials of those as well, if you guys are interested. So that's enough droning on for now. I hope this was easy enough to follow. I hope the colouring in process was easy enough to grasp. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, maybe you should think about subscribing. I have plenty more stuff like this on my channel. I have tutorials ranging from YouTube statues, skin statues, houses, pixel art, the list goes on. Thanks for watching.